So this is going to be a true talking head video because this is just straight talk, and I had something on my mind that I felt like I wanted to talk about, which I think is really important because I've been noticing that I've been building a real legitimate community at my channel, which is my desire. Like, that's what I want it to be. I want it to be a community. I want an exchange. I want communication between people. I actually have people reaching out to me backdoor, through email and stuff like that, talking about other projects, and like there's really a lot of good stuff going on. And the ironic part of that is that no matter how many views I get in a video, I generally get the same amount of comments, which are a lot. Anywhere from 30, 40, 50 comments, whether I get 80 views or 500 or 3,000. I get 50 comments, sometimes more, never less than 30. And I find that amazing. And I find it really satisfying and meaningful. And it touches me, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like this is a genuine, dialogue going on with me and the people who are coming to my channel. It makes me feel like it's a gift, like it's something not to be taken for granted. But I also notice that a lot of people are like really frustrated with what's going on with their channels. I could just feel it. It's not that I've had a conversation about this with anybody, but I can literally feel it. Like, I'm an empath. I can tell by the way somebody leaves a comment, the way their videos look, because I go look at everybody else's video. And I only comment when I feel compelled to comment. Just like I don't want anybody to comment on my channel just to support me. I want you to, if you feel like saying something, say it. I don't think you should think about stuff like that. I don't think you should think like, I just want to help the algorithm, I'm just going to do this. Like, just leave a comment if you want to leave a comment. If you don't want to leave a comment, enjoy the video. If you don't enjoy the video, go away. It's okay. Nobody should be getting mad at anybody else, but I can feel people's frustration. And so I wanted to talk about that a little bit, because I think sometimes people look at YouTube as like a competition, I think. And do you know that there are like 65 million creators on YouTube? Which means there are far more people just watching YouTube, but there are over 60 million people making videos. That's insane. Think about that. How are you going to compete with that? Who exactly are you competing with? Are you comparing yourself to others? Because YouTube will destroy your self-esteem. It will torch your self-image, the way you look at yourself, if you judge yourself based on other people, on other people's videos, on other people's numbers. You know the saying, don't put your hand in somebody else's pockets. Don't think about somebody else's money. Don't worry about that. Like, it's none of your business, It's like, it should be none of our concern what somebody else is accomplishing in terms of their numbers at YouTube. How many views they get, how many subscribers they have, whether or not they're monetized, how much money they're making. Like, to me, we shouldn't be thinking about that. We should be thinking about making videos that connect us, that bring us together, that create something meaningful. I mean, of course, if you want to earn a living here, then earn a living here. Figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea how you do that. I don't know if anybody really knows how you do that. But if that's your goal, I'm with you 100%. I want you to earn a living here. I want you to be a full-time YouTuber. I want you to get everything that you want out of this platform. But nobody should be thinking about that for you except for you, and maybe a team that you put together for yourself, or whoever you involved in your business, let's call it. But no other creator should be judging themselves on you, or should be judging you on your numbers and your success or lack thereof. 60 million people. Think about that. That's a lot of people. I'm talking about all over the world. There are so many creators on this platform doing really well, who you would love, who you never heard of, who you will never see. The odds on you finding everybody are so slim. There's just so many people here. I think the best part of YouTube is to continue to try to make better videos. I actually got a comment today from a really old video that I made. And I went back and I looked at it and it was terrible. I was like up against the wall. I had no depth of field. I had no depth, you know, it just looked flat. It looked weird. I would never post a video like that now. But I didn't think about deleting it. But I know people go back and delete their old videos because they're embarrassed by the way they look, or they didn't get enough views or whatever. Like, they're really concerned with that. And it's like, to me, it's like a history of yourself. Like, you can see how you've grown. It's kind of like the only thing I liked about Facebook was the memories, where you could look back and see something that you experienced in 2009 or 2005 or 2013, or it's like who you were with in that moment and what you were doing and what you were talking about and what you were thinking and what you were involved with and what you were preoccupied with. That's kind of cool. And so I like to look back on videos that even make me feel maybe a little bit embarrassed. But I don't really get embarrassed because I don't really care what anybody else thinks of my work or what I do. I know what I can do. You know, I'm not preoccupied with that. I'm preoccupied with my art, really. That's who I am. Like, I'm preoccupied with telling stories, with making movies, with writing plays, with making music, with like just being creative. Like, that's what I'm preoccupied with. I'm an artist. You know, I'm not thinking about anything else. I would love to have great numbers here at YouTube, just like you, just like anybody. But it's not what I'm preoccupied with, and I'm certainly not preoccupied with what other people are doing. But you could feel it when people are kind of hating on you a little bit. And that just makes me kind of sad. And you could feel it when people are hurting because they're not getting the kind of attention that they think they deserve. They're kind of giving up, you know, they're just at their wits' end because they can't figure it out. They think somebody's hurting them. There's a lot of stuff going on here at YouTube that is completely useless. Because if you connect deeply with just a few people, that's amazing. How many people in your life do you really consider your friends, like your close people, like the people who you would confide in, the people who you would go to if you were in trouble, the people who will come to you if they need help with something, the people who just like need advice and talk to you about it, or who do you respect, who do you trust? How many people do you have like that in your life, you know? So think about it. If you connect with a few people here on YouTube in a genuine way, that's miraculous. And then if you have 20, 40, 100, 300 people commenting on every video, and you respond to every one of them, because you're not going to respond to 80 million. Like, if you're Matty Hapoya or somebody like that, if you're Marcus Brownlee, you're not responding to the 75,000 comments that come to your channel. You're not connecting with anybody. You know, maybe there are 5, 10, 15. You're really just dealing with your team at that point. If you're a gigantic channel like that, you're connecting with the people who you're working with. You're not even answering any of the comments. But if you have a smaller channel like this that's a little bit more manageable, then you're commenting back and forth with the same people all the time. You kind of, as much as you don't get to know them in their real lives, you get to know them in this realm, and that's kind of special. It's pretty cool. And then maybe you even establish real relationships with a few of them. If it goes that way, if it's organic, it shouldn't be forced. And, I can't tell you how that could be legitimate or how it can't be legitimate or what. It just, like, in my opinion, it just happens, like the t-shirts I used to sell that said "Love Just Is" on them. It's like, you can't explain it, you can't define love, right? You can't tell somebody what it is by definition. There's no way to do that. You just know what it feels like. It's the same thing with relationships or friendships in any kind of situation. And if you develop something from here, that's cool. But how many of those are you really going to develop? Not a lot, chances are. But you might have, professional relationships that develop here. That's amazing too. But you might develop, like, I see a filmmaker that I follow every once in a while who is an incredibly gifted filmmaker. And I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to get into all that, but this guy's incredibly gifted and he's got like 20 subscribers. He's got nobody. Yet, he creates videos that are very confident and grandiose, and you know, he's like basically saying, yo, I'm a bad motherfucker. Like, I know how to do this, and I enjoy this, and I have love for this, and I have joy in the work that I do, and I have so much respect for that, because obviously he ain't thinking about it. And you know, for all we know, out of those 20 people, he might have gotten 10 filmmaking gigs from those 20 people, for all I know. Somebody might have contacted him and said, yo, your work is magnificent, you know, can you shoot a film for me? Can you help me shoot my film? Like, you just don't know who you're meeting. You know, I'm always trying to like raise money for my films. I'm trying to, you know, like, I don't know who I'm going to meet, but I know that my Patreon channel is growing. And that's really what my intention is here. To enable myself to continue to make art, to find support, just like any public arts organization does, you know, where they're dependent upon their audience to survive. Obviously, if I'm a performing artist, if people don't come to my shows, it's no good for me. If people don't watch my movies, it's no good for me. Because my whole thing is to share. That's what my work is. Like, the end game of writing a play, of making a movie, of anything like that, is to share it with people. For me, that's all I want to do, is share it, you know, and hopefully earn a good living doing it. But I just wanted to put this in perspective, you know what I mean? Because lately I've been feeling some of the people around me feeling kind of sensitive, or, you know, just feeling a certain kind of way about what's going on with their channels, and also the way they deal with my channel. You know, I'll be totally honest with you. I've been feeling some haters. And I know that it's just like based on the fact that they're not getting as much attention as I am, which is pretty hilarious, because in the grand scheme of things, my channel is a tiny little channel. It's teeny tiny. Like, I get excited when I get 100 views in the first day. To me, that's like off the charts successful. But to a real YouTuber, that is epic failure, disaster, can't make money, can't feed my kids, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, put it all in perspective. You see what I'm saying? It's all a matter of perspective. It's all relative. But it's really all about how you look at it and how you feel about it and what your intentions are. And also, I think it teaches you a lot about who you are and what you're like. You know, jealousy is never good in any scenario. You know, hating on somebody and wishing bad things for anybody else is never a good thing for anybody. Feeling badly about yourself, you know, based on how other people are looking at you, is never a smart way to go. It's not healthy. And it has nothing to do with reality, because you're projecting what other people are feeling. You have no idea what other people are feeling, and chances are they ain't even thinking about you. You know, I once heard an interview with Alec Baldwin, the actor, and he was upset when he was a young actor because, you know, nobody was calling him for auditions, you know. And he kept speaking to his agent, you know, he's like, what's going on, you know, what did I do, and why do people hate me, and, you know, have I left a bad impression with people? And he was trying to figure out, you know, what kind of personal bad thing was going on between him and, you know, the people who should be, in his mind, calling him for auditions. And his agent said to him, it's probably not so much anything that you did. More likely, just nobody's thinking about you at all. Like, you just kind of you'll get to the point eventually where people are thinking about you. And that, I don't think that was meant as a negative thing. I think that was just like reality. Like, nobody hates you. Nobody's trying to keep you down. Nobody is planning to hurt you. They're just not thinking about you. They thought about somebody else for that job. You know? Nobody's stopping your, like, I'm just saying, enjoy this process. Do the best work that you could do. That's why I say, forget about easy mode and all that bullshit. Try to do something good so that you have something to focus on, so you have something to develop, so you have something that you'll be proud of, that you're feeling good about, you know, where you're growing as a person, as an artist, as a YouTuber, whatever your intentions are. Try to choose something that is challenging and that you, like I said, you can be proud of when you accomplish a little bit more each time. And then, you know, if you get 5, 10 people all the time, you got like a little circle that can be very powerful. And then if it starts to grow, that's awesome. 10 becomes 20, 20 becomes 50, 50 becomes 100. You know, I had a couple of videos that got like 13,000 views, and all of a sudden it went boom, right back down to like, every once in a while I'll get 1,500 or 3,000, something like that. But generally I'm in the 250 to 500 range, you know, and I feel so good about that. I will never earn a living on YouTube like that, but I feel so grateful for that. And, you know, I guess partially because this will never be my main thing. You know, even if I make more money from YouTube than anything else that I do, YouTube will never be my main thing in my head. Because my main thing in my head is trying to make great art, because that's who I am. And I'm not saying that anybody else has to be that way, but for me, that's my main thing. That's what I want to do, you know. I'm always going to like write scripts. I write every day. I'm just consumed with stories all the time. You know, beginning, a middle, and an end, the evolution, you know, the exposition, character development, people, relationships. I'm just obsessed with that. That's what I think about. Whether it be a screenplay or a theatrical script or just a story in my head. Even when I'm doing YouTube videos, you know, I'm thinking, is this a story? Can this be a movie? Can this be a documentary? Can this be a narrative? Can this be a fantasy? Like, can this be something that is unforgettable forever? That people carry with them and never forget it? That's my thing. So, you know, maybe, I'm not going to lie, like, yeah, if I get 12 views, it's going to upset me for about 5 minutes. But then I'm on to whatever else I'm doing. I ain't worried about it. And I'm always going to post here because I enjoy it. And because, yeah, I've established some relationships with people, like YouTube relationships, which is awesome. And who knows, maybe some of these will grow into something real, you know. And not to say that they're not real, but you know what I mean, like outside of YouTube. Or maybe not. And there's nothing wrong with that either. You know, you're not going to like connect like that with everybody that you meet. It's just not going to happen. Sometimes we project what we think somebody is like, or what they should be thinking, or what they should be feeling. And you have no idea what somebody else is thinking or feeling. You have no idea. You have no idea what they're doing. You have no idea what they're going through. You have no idea what's going on in their lives. You have no idea where they've been. You have no idea where they're trying to go. You have no idea about their day-to-day life. All you know is what you see and what you feel from them. And if you feel anything from them that's positive, take that as a great gift. Take that as an opportunity to feel something that you didn't feel before and learn from it and take it in. You know, I say it all the time, take it in as good nutrition, you know, grow from it. You know, just understand that somebody made an offering to you that resonated with you, that inspired you, that made you want to maybe do something better than what you're doing now, that made you think of something that you never would have thought of before. That it's so good to be inspired by somebody else. And for me, it's an honor when somebody tells me that they were inspired by something that I said or that I did, or when they watch my movie, or when they come see me in a play. Like when somebody tells me that they're inspired by that and it makes them motivated to do something that they've never done before, or better than they've ever done whatever they're doing, better than they've ever done it before, that makes me feel like my life is one that is well lived. So I just want to throw up the camera real quick. I'm using my Panasonic S5, the original, the OG. I'm using a Minolta 50mm lens, old vintage lens, a Rokkor. I'm shooting at f2.5, I think. I'm using my little Purple Panda lavalier mic. I'm using my, of course, Zoom H1N, broken, with the batteries sticking out of the back. using my little lights, set it up, trying to make it dark and moody and movie-like. Manual focus, of course, and wanting to connect with you, wanting to open up that window to my soul so you can feel me and feel my spirit. Because if you ever did get to know me in the real world, you're going to learn that I'm pretty much this guy. But of course, 99.999% of us are never going to connect in the real world. It's just, that's not realistic. But it doesn't mean that we're not connected strongly here. And that's why I made this video today, because there's a bunch of people that I'm feeling stuff about. And again, I'm an empath, and if you don't know what that is, look it up, and there's probably a million videos about it. But I really feel things. I feel weird saying this, but I'm kind of psychic sometimes. But I'm just saying that I'm very sensitive. And I care about people. And I don't want anybody to feel hurt. I don't want anybody to feel bad. I don't want anybody to feel negative feelings about YouTube, about other creators, any of that. Unless somebody says something offensive to you, unless you figure out that somebody's a racist or an anti-Semite or a homophobe or somebody who hates other people, or, you know, like, but if somebody's just a content creator and you don't agree with the way they're doing things or what they're talking about, or you have a disagreement about a camera, or they're getting more views than you or more comments, and or you're not getting what you want out of it, so you got to blame somebody for that or compare yourself to somebody with that. I don't wish that on anybody, because that's painful and it hurts. So, yeah, I guess like in a good relationship, I just wanted to bring it up. And I hope that you feel really good about what you're doing, and I hope you enjoy what I'm doing. And I hope you understand that this is a collective, this is a community. And everybody here has their own thing. And everybody here is an individual. And everybody here has their own perspective, their own point of view, their own life. Everybody here is going through shit that nobody else knows about in this community. Everybody's been somewhere that we don't know about, and they're headed somewhere that we don't, you know, like, you just know what people share with you. You know a lot about me because I share a lot. But you don't know what I've been through. You know, you don't know everything about me. I don't know everything about you, but this is sometimes what you have is enough. You know, there are certain circumstances and situations that there's like a ceiling to it, and that's okay. You know, your life is compartmentalized into many different things. Your professional life, your personal life, and then a million little things in between those two. And so you got to kind of figure out how to find joy in your life every day, and how to feel good, and how to feel positive, and how to feel optimistic amidst all of this stuff that we're navigating together. So I guess I don't even know what the point is of this video, other than I was feeling some stuff and I wanted to speak on it and talk about it and say that I hope everybody feels good. I hope everybody feels proud of themselves and of others. And I hope nobody's competing, and I hope nobody's counting. My mother always told me when I was little, don't count. If you do something for somebody, don't count that they're doing the same amount back for you. Don't count. Whether it's in your marriage, your friendships, your job, whatever, it's just not a healthy thing to do. Reciprocity is never equal. Don't look at it that way. Don't expect that from people. Let people be who they are. You can't change anybody, but you could change yourself. You can be the best version of yourself and take full responsibility for your own life and your own feelings. And if you feel that somebody doesn't vibe with you and it makes you feel a certain kind of way, then don't deal with them. Get them out of your life. That's okay too. There are toxic relationships that need to be broken, so do that. And if it's something here on YouTube with somebody just rubs you the wrong way, I don't know why that would be, but it would not be for me to figure it out for you. If you don't like a creator for some reason, I mean, I know there have been certain situations for me where I've, you know, unsubscribed from people just because they talked about something that I felt was fundamentally not in alignment with the way I feel. And it takes a lot, but it's got to be like a human rights issue, like racism, like misogyny, stuff like that. You know, like I have kind of a zero tolerance policy for things of that nature. So I could see breaking off, you know, contact with people for that reason. But if somebody says something bad about your camera or something like that, come on. I mean, you know, if that's how you feel, knock yourself out, but I'll never understand that. So anyway, I'm going to end this video just talking head. I'm not going to add anything else to it. I just wanted to bring this up, talk about it, and tell you how I felt, because I don't want to say specifically why, but let's just say that I was feeling some stuff that made me feel a little sad. And whenever I'm in a relationship or something like that, I've learned the hard way. If you feel something, talk about it. Because silence and not saying anything is the absolute worst thing that you could do. That will separate you forever. You will never have any lasting relationships in your life ever. Like, talk about it, work it out. You might not always come to, you know, common ground completely, but the common ground that you will come to is that we can always communicate, and that we care about one another, and that we want good things for each other, and that we're not going to be jealous of one another. We're not going to hate on one another. We're not going to wish for bad things. We're not going to blame somebody else for what's going on with our life. That's the kind of stuff we can come together on. So let's do that. And please subscribe. And please hit the like button. And please consider joining my Patreon. And go to my website and buy my poetry book. Or buy my last album. All of that. But if nothing else, do you. I'm excited about that. All right.